Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the southwest side of the valley where I'm checking out Mr. Mama's for the first time. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. Alright everyone, and here we are seated at Mr. Mama's. Now this is a very popular breakfast and lunch spot here in Las Vegas, and several of you in the comments have asked me to make a video on this place. Now Mr. Mama's is in the southwest side of the valley, about 15 minutes away from the strip, and I'm certainly looking forward to trying out the food today. Let's see what they have to eat. So here is your menu at Mr. Mama's. Looks like they have a famous cinnamon roll up top there for $5. Let's take a look through the favorites. I'm gonna try and get the glare out of here as best as I can. All right, so a lot of breakfast specials here. Breakfast burrito, steak and eggs, chicken fried steak. All of that looks really good. Got some pancakes here as well as eggs. Yeah, short stacks, eggs and toast, breakfast egg and cheese sandwich. Below that we have some omelets here. A lot of omelets here, as well as your French toast. So a lot of breakfast items here at Mr. Mama's. If we flip the menu over, we can see the lunch options here. We have burritos and wraps. Give you a little closer look here. So several different burritos, several different sandwiches. Looks like they're all served with French fries, rings, tater tots, cup of soup, or a side salad. Lots of options there. Speaking of salads, here is your full list of salads as well as your soups and chilies. We have a list of burgers here. That looks very nice. All of your sides. With chili cheese fries, that sounds pretty good. And here are your beverages. And that's the menu at Mr. Mama's. A lot of solid options here for breakfast and lunch on the Mr. Mama menu. I'm really looking forward to trying as many as I can today, because you know how it goes in my videos. Every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. So we're gonna get a nice variety, and together we'll see what this place is all about. I don't think they have a particular appetizer list, so we'll start off with some breakfast. I'll see you in a bit when that first round arrives. And welcome back everyone. My first round of breakfast just got here and this is looking very good. Let me give you a view. I got the crab cake benedict as well as a short stack of pancakes, which is served with eggs and bacon. The famous cinnamon roll along with a Spanish omelet. This is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. First up, this is the Spanish omelet. Topped with an avocado and some nice vibrant greens here. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, that's good. A nice and rich omelet here, well-cooked eggs, relatively fluffy, made extra rich with some butter and oil. Some good eggs on this omelet. The spinach provides a nice iron-like flavor, and you get a creaminess from the avocado that's very nice. The mozzarella cheese provides a mild but salty flavor, although I think there's a little bit of Parmesan in here as well, and that's probably where the majority of the salt comes from. Not a bad omelet here. Now you have your option between hash browns and home fries, and so on the Spanish omelet I went with the home fries. Let's see how these are. Yeah, that's pretty good. Some very nice skin on potatoes here, providing a bit of a rustic flavor. And while crispy on the outside, I wouldn't say it's ultra crunchy. A good pillowy center though, and a nice starchy flavor. And in general, a well-seasoned potato here as well. If these had just a little bit of extra crunch, I think these would be incredible. Next up, the short stack of pancakes. You get 2 pancakes in the short stack here. I've got some syrup on the top. A good breakfast spot has to have good pancakes. Let's see how these are. Oh yeah, it's really good. This is about as good of a textbook pancake as you're gonna find. A nice bouncy texture to that, but a nice cakey moist center. Not too sweet, but a nice flavor to these pancakes. And a nice griddle job to these pancakes. It's very good. I had a lot of butter on that bite, so a fair amount of richness there. And a very good woodsy sweetness coming from that maple syrup. This is a great pancake, no real problems with that one at all. Now the pancakes are served alongside some eggs as well as bacon or sausage. I went with some bacon today. First off, we'll try the eggs. Now at first glance, I thought these were over, but you can see that there's actually a nice runny yolk here. Let's give it a try. Yeah, just fine. A well-executed over medium egg here. If you're a breakfast restaurant, you have to be able to nail all the cooks of eggs. And so I'm happy to report that they've been able to nail over medium here. A rich runny yolk, well-cooked whites, All in all, very good. A nice over medium egg. And next up is the bacon. Now, I'm definitely a fan of crispier bacon than softer bacon, and this is right up my alley with the feel. It's bacon time. Yeah, you know, not bad. Now, unfortunately, while it felt crunchy in my hands, I didn't necessarily get too much crisp from this bacon. In fact, it was a little bit tougher than I was expecting. A lot of the fat has been rendered out here, a pretty direct flavor of the bacon, but I kind of want a little bit of an additional richness here. It's mostly just salty and smoky. This isn't exactly a soft bacon, it's not a crispy bacon either. It's something in the middle. Texture-wise, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of this one. But bacon is bacon at the end of the day, am I right? Next up, crab cake benedict. Now they've absolutely nailed the poached egg here, so I've got some pretty high hopes. I want to say over medium and poached are some of the harder egg styles to make properly. And so whoever they've got timing the eggs in the kitchen is doing a great job here. But now we see how it all tastes together with this crab cake benedict. Let's give it a taste. Oh yes, that's really good. This is a very well executed crab benedict. A very good English muffin here. It's been well toasted, has a little bit of that trademark sour flavor. There's a little bit of crisp to it as well. It's also been well buttered. A very nice English muffin here. Now, I'm relatively certain that this crab cake was not prepared in-house, but that said, it is very good. A nice crispy exterior, though the center of the crab cake is a bit on the mushy side. You certainly get a little bit of the sweetness of the crab here, but the majority of this crab cake is a bit filler. There is a nice spicy sweetness coming from the roasted peppers in here though, and it is seasoned well. It's been fried excellently and it does have good flavor here. A wonderfully poached egg, you saw how runny that yolk was. And they have a very good hollandaise sauce here at Mr. Mama's. A very rich sauce from that egg yolk, with just a little bit of tang in the flavor, topped with a little bit of paprika for some smokiness. It's all very good. I gotta say, that's a pretty tasty dish right there. Now I also got some hash browns along with that crab benedict. Let's see how these are.
Taking up several parts of it. There's cars and there's possessions.
Yes, that's good. A perfectly executed hash brown here. A nice crispy exterior with a well-cooked through soft potato, well-seasoned and a good starchy flavor here. Textbook hash browns right there. All of your breakfast favorites also come with your side of toast. I went with the white bread here. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, that's fine. This is your pretty standard store-bought white bread here that's been toasted and buttered. A little bit sweet, as American white bread tends to be, and a nice amount of butter applied for some richness here. A fine toast. All right, my friends, now the last bite to try from this first round of breakfast is gonna be their cinnamon roll. This was boxed by itself on the top of the menu, so it has to be good, right? Let's see how good the cinnamon roll is.
Restaurants that do breakfast and or lunch are like savage.
Yeah, that's pretty good. A pretty solid cinnamon roll here. Not absolutely drowned in frosting, giving it a little bit of a lighter flavor. That is very nice. A good woodsy level of cinnamon here, and a bit of richness in this roll as well from the applied butter. In general, flavor-wise, it's very good. While I wouldn't consider this super dry, I certainly wouldn't consider it moist. And I think that's where I'm currently deducting points in my brain. Even in its current form though, certainly not bad. A fine cinnamon roll right there. All right, everyone, now that's my first round of breakfast. I think just a couple more bites and I'll box this all up to go and we'll go into our second round. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. My second round of breakfast just got here and this is looking very good. Let me give you a view. I got a side of their biscuits and gravy along with Mama's wet burrito, their steak and eggs, corned beef and hash, as well as their huevos rancheros. Now, all of Mama's favorites are supposed to come with those side of potatoes. However, I didn't want to waste too much of their food today, so I asked them to not prepare it with it. But you can imagine on any of these plates, if you don't see potatoes, it probably does come with it. Okie doke, now with that out of the way, let's give this all a try. First up, biscuits and gravy. Now, you do have a full biscuits and gravy breakfast available here. However, I just went in on the side today because I wanted to give it a try, the biscuits and gravy. Oh, that's very good. A very nice sausage gravy here. It's thick and rich, made savory with the chunks of sausage in here, and a good amount of black pepper providing a nice amount of kick. While the gravy is just fine, the biscuit is the star here. One of the better biscuits I've had in a long time. It's really good. It's incredibly rich, a very buttery and flaky biscuit, and just a little hint of crisp that they've added with the toast. Even after such a rich gravy, you get a nice buttery aftertaste that's primarily coming from the biscuit here. So enjoyable. I'm a fan. I really like the biscuits and gravy. Next up, huevos rancheros. I love a good huevos rancheros dish, and some pretty good colors here to this one at Mr. Mama's. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Now I'm pretty sure every element on this huevos rancheros is store-bought, but that said, it's still executed well. I do like this. A very crispy tostada shell, which is so important because the huevos rancheros has a propensity to get soggy very quickly. A good corn flavor coming from it also. That's a good start to the huevos rancheros. A nice earthy and salty flavor coming from the refried beans here. And I'd say that's actually the majority of the flavor in the middle of the bite, which is nice because right up front you're getting a savory yet slightly salty flavor from that ranchero sauce. A little bit spicier than I'm typically used to with a huevos rancheros, but it is pretty good. I do get hints of the flavor of cheese. It's a pretty standard 3-cheese Mexican blend, and they've already proven to me multiple times that they know how to cook eggs because the over medium eggs here were great. All in all, a pretty solid huevos rancheros here. Next up, this is Mama's Wet Burrito. Now you have the option between pork and chicken. I decided to go with the pork on this one, and a big chunk of the burrito here on my fork. Let's give it a try. That's very good. Now this is a very flavorful burrito. A lot going on here. A nice pliable tortilla is wrapping the burrito here. And while I can't say it imparts a lot of flavor, it's holding its shape, especially when it's covered and smothered in the salsa verde, so it's doing a good job. A beautiful layer of mozzarella cheese provides a mild richness that's really good in this burrito. All of that is really good. A very robust flavor to the salsa verde. I don't know if this is jarred or canned, but if it is, I certainly wouldn't mind knowing the brand. It's very good. A nice approachable spice level to this, with some tang as well as an acidic element. There's certainly something like lemon or lime in here to brighten it up, and a smoky taste coming from the chilies in here that's really flavorful. The salsa verde is ranked very highly as the best part of this burrito. It's hard to say it's the absolute best part of the burrito because the pork here is very good. It's a very rich and succulent pork. It's very well seasoned, even on its own. It's very tasty. And then it all comes together as a very good burrito. I'm a fan of this one. Next up, steak and eggs. I asked for my steak prepared medium today. It's looking a little bit closer to medium well here on the outer edges, but it certainly doesn't look dry. Let's see how the steak is. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now you have a choice steak here, so it's not exactly the best cut of beef, but it's doing the job fine. Not the most tender cut of beef I've ever had, but it is still pretty juicy. They didn't dry this out during the cook, and closer to the middle, it's definitely looking a lot more medium. A well-seasoned steak also. The beefy flavor definitely comes through. A fine job for the cut of steak they have here. Now for my steak and eggs dish, I decided to go with scrambled for the eggs here. Let's give these a shot. Absolutely fine. Now they nailed the poached egg, they nailed the over medium, and the scrambled by far is going to be the easiest, so it's fine here. It's cooked all the way through, a bit of a fluffy texture to these, and a bit of richness coming from the butter that they've been cooked in. A perfectly fine scrambled egg here. All right, everyone, and the last bite I'm trying from this second round of breakfast is gonna be their corned beef hash. Now this corned beef hash is definitely from a can, and while some folks aren't particularly down with this, I grew up eating this stuff all the time, so I love it. Nostalgia is certainly the strongest spice. The corned beef hash. Yeah, it's good. If you grew up in the States and you're a fan of corned beef hash, you've most likely had this particular recipe before. You have your crumbly bits of corned beef here, providing a salty, meaty flavor, and some small bits of potato in here providing respite from that crumbly texture. I love the crust that they've developed on the top of this. They left it on the griddle for the perfect amount of time. I'd say the crust is actually the most important factor when it comes to a canned corned beef hash like this. It definitely helps provide a little bit more of a smoky flavor from that Maillard reaction. Perfectly standard corned beef hash here. All right, everyone, now that's my second round of breakfast. Just a couple more bites. I'm gonna box this all up to go, and then we'll check out some of their lunch options. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. My lunch items just got here and it's looking really good. Let me give you a view. I got their cheeseburger along with some chili cheese french fries, their chicken tenders, and Mr. Mama's sandwich. And the staff was very kind. They wanted me to try their chicken waffles as well. This is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. First up, the chicken and waffles. Now, I didn't order this, but they offered it to me, and we're gonna try the chicken first since they are boned in. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, it's pretty good. You have a super crispy chicken wing here. Really nice skin. A fantastic crunch to the outside of that. Now you can actually see how juicy this chicken is. This is not dry by any means. Nice, tender, juicy chicken is always good. Now, while I wouldn't classify this as super spicy, there's definitely a lingering heat here. A little bit more of a back-end spice. It's very good. A well-seasoned hot wing in general. That's actually a pretty good one right there. We'll try the waffle up next. Got some syrup on this as well as some butter. Here's the waffle part of that equation. That's a very good waffle right there. A textbook waffle, really good stuff. A super crispy exterior and a soft and airy center. We've got a good waffle. Very sweet on its own. It actually doesn't need too much of the maple syrup, although who doesn't want a little bit of that woodsy sweetness when it comes to a waffle? This is actually all very good. A nice chicken and waffles dish here. Next up, the chicken fingers. Now I'm pretty sure these are store-bought chicken fingers, frozen and delivered on a truck, so I do have a pretty good idea of what I'm about to taste here. The chicken finger. Yeah, you know what, that's just okay. This is your standard frozen chicken finger off of a truck, and so while my expectations aren't super high, these chicken fingers are meeting them just fine. A nice fry job to this. There is a nice crisp to the exterior, and it is well seasoned, though I will say it's a bit on the salty side. Not exactly the most juicy or tender chicken either. Bit of a chewy texture to it as well. I mean, this is your standard frozen chicken finger here. Next up, I'm gonna try the accompanying fries. Pretty standard looking here. Let's see how it is. Yep, those are good. Again, we do have some pre-packaged French fries here. However, these do have a much better texture than the chicken fingers. A really nice crispy exterior with a relatively pillowy center. I'm kind of surprised. A good amount of flavor from the potatoes coming through here, and it's well seasoned. A perfectly good French fry here. Next up, chili cheese fries. Now that I know that the base product of the French fry is pretty good, I'm looking forward to seeing how these chili cheese fries are. Let's give it a try. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've already given you my thoughts on the French fries, and they're just fine here. So we've already got a good start to the recipe. A nice richness and saltiness coming from the cheese here. Very gooey in texture. Certainly fine with that cheese. We have a very meaty chili here, and while you do get a nice savory flavor from the ground up beef and some earthiness from the kidney beans, I do think the chili is a bit on the sweet side. The natural sweetness of the tomato hasn't been cooked all the way down, and so it does taste a bit imbalanced to me. It's almost a bit of a zesty tomato sauce-esque chili, and while that might be fine for some, typically I'm more of a fan of a smokier and deeper flavored chili. That said though, this certainly isn't bad. I think a little bit of additional chili powder and perhaps some additional smokier seasonings and I could like this a lot more, but in general a fine chili cheese fry here. Okie doke, next up, cheeseburger. A pretty standard looking cheeseburger here. Nice thick patty and your standard vegetable lineup. Let's see how it is. Yeah, that's good. About as standard of a burger as you're gonna get. But that's not to say it's not good. A nice soft burger bun here. It's a little bit sweet with a good toast to the inside. And this is a pretty hefty burger, so it's holding up to the weight very well. Not a bad start. A good burger patty here. It's been cooked medium. We have a warm peak center, and they've certainly developed a crust, although I do think it could use a little bit of additional seasoning. They have an American cheese here, which is my preferred cheese for a burger. It's very good. Rich, melted, nice salty flavor there. And it's complemented by some fresh produce, crisp lettuce, sweet tomatoes, and a bite coming from that raw onion, all very good. Now, while all of that is fine, unfortunately, the burger doesn't include any kind of a sauce. And so there's definitely an element missing here. Because that burger meat isn't ultra rich and juicy, the overall burger does lean a bit dry. In general, it just needs a little bit more moisture. That said though, everything else is just fine, a solid burger. Now, all of their burgers and sandwiches come with the option of onion rings, tater tots, French fries, or soup and salad. And so with the burger, I decided to go with the onion rings. Let's see how these are. Oh yeah, it's good. Now I'm pretty sure these are store-bought as well. However, they've done a great job with the fry. A nice crispy exterior here, a good crunchy texture, and a well-seasoned batter. That's all good. A nice sweet flavor coming off of those onions. Very soft on the bite. A perfectly fine onion ring here. Next up, this is Mama's Sandwich. This is a turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, and it's incredibly thick. Lots of ingredients packed in here. Mr. Mama Sandwich. Oh yeah, it's good. Now you've got a pretty good California club-like sandwich here. You have a very standard white bread here that we tried with the breakfast items, and that's fine. A good toast to it, and this is a pretty hefty sandwich, so it needs to have some structure. You have a sliced deli turkey here, and while I wouldn't exactly consider it super moist, it does have a good salty flavor, it's been brined well, and so that element is working fine. A nice salty and savory flavor coming from that bacon, which is counterbalanced by all of the great produce here. The lettuce, tomato, and onion, similar to the burger, is all great. And you've got some creamy avocado providing richness. Now they're using a pepper jack cheese here, which is providing just a little bit of kick, but mostly there for richness. And there's an application of mayo providing some moisture also. A perfectly good sandwich there, that's just fine. All right, my friends, now the last bite I'm trying from this third round is gonna be their tater tot. A pretty standard looking tater tot here. Let's give it a try. That was good. Now this is gonna round out all of the fried potato sides, and keeping consistent with the theme, these are prepackaged and frozen, but otherwise just fine. A good fried job to this. There's certainly a nice crisp to that exterior, and the soft potato center. Well seasoned, good flavor here. About as good as a prepackaged tater tot is gonna be. All right, everyone, now that's all of the food I'm trying today. I am so full. I think I'm just gonna take a couple more bites and wrap this all up to go. Then we'll do some dessert up next. Don't go anywhere because sweets are coming up. And welcome back, everyone. Now, as it turns out, they don't actually have a dessert menu here, so we're just gonna go straight to the check. Now, they have a super long check here. Hopefully, I can give you a decent view, but my total for breakfast today came out to $193 before tip. They did, however, comp me those chicken and waffles, as I mentioned earlier, and they also gave me the cinnamon roll on the house, which was very appreciated. And all of that said, I gotta tell you, I had a good time here at Mr. Mama's. The wet burrito, as well as the biscuits and gravy, were my favorite items from the breakfast today. Although nothing was particularly bad, I actually really liked most of the food. And anyone going in on some of their lunch items here, like Mama's Sandwich, are probably gonna have a pretty good time. But I will say the chicken and waffles was surprisingly good. I was not expecting it to be that tasty. All in all, if you're looking for some solid breakfast here in Las Vegas, I think you could do pretty well here at Mr. Mama's. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for this Tuesday video where I check out a local spot here in the Valley. Coming this Saturday, I'm continuing my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown. Make sure you come back for that one. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.